Hello dear learners, myself Anjumara Panwala, an English educator. Today I have brought this video for you about the prose to The Little Prince, and this video is divided into 3 parts. You have to watch all the 3 parts. You have to like it, comment it, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe to motivate me. And if you will be having any doubt, you can ask me. So I hope you will understand, you will enjoy it. So let's start it.
The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Once, when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. The book said, boa constrictors swallow their prey whole without chewing it. I pondered deeply over the adventures of the jungle, and after some work with a colored pencil, I succeeded in making my first drawing. My drawing number 1. It looked something like this. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them. Frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat? My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. My drawing number 2 looked like this. The grown-ups' response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors and devote myself to studies. That is why at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I chose another profession and learned to pilot aeroplanes. I have had a great many encounters with great many people who've been concerned with matters of consequence. I have lived a great deal among grown-ups, and that hasn't much improved my opinion of them. Whenever I met one of them, I tried the experiment of showing him my drawing number 1. I would try to find out if this was a person of true understanding. But whoever it was would always say, "This is a hat." Then I would never talk to that person about boa constrictors or primeval forests or stars. I would bring myself down to his level. I would talk to him about bridge and golf and politics and neckties. So I lived my life alone, without anyone that I could really talk to, until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara 6 years ago. I set myself to attempt the difficult repairs all alone. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. First night, I went to sleep on the sand, 1,000 miles from any human habitation. Thus you can imagine my amazement at sunrise when I was awakened by an odd little voice. "If you please, draw me a sheep." I jumped to my feet, completely thunderstruck. A most extraordinary small person stood there examining me with great seriousness. Remember, I had crashed in the desert 1,000 miles from any inhabited region, and yet my little man seemed neither to be straying uncertainly among the sands, nor to be fainting from fatigue or thirst. When at last I was able to speak, I said to him, "But what are you doing here? And in answer, he repeated very slowly, as if he was speaking of a matter of great consequence, "If you please, draw me a sheep." 1,000 miles from any human habitation and in danger of death, I took out of my pocket a sheet of paper and my fountain pen. But I had never drawn a sheep. So I drew for him one of the 2 pictures I had drawn so often. No. I don't want an elephant inside a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is very small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep. So then I made a drawing. He looked at it carefully. Then he said, "No, this sheep is already very sickly. Make me another." So I made another drawing. My friend smiled gently and indulgently. "You see yourself," he said, "that this is not a sheep. This is a ram. It has horns." So then I did my drawing over once more. "This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time." I was in a hurry to start taking my engine apart, so I tossed off this drawing. "This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside." I was surprised to see a light break over the face of my young judge. "This is exactly the way I wanted it. Do you think that this sheep will have to have a great deal of grass?" "Why?" "Because where I live, everything is very small." "There will surely be enough of grass for him. It is very small sheep that I have given you." He bent his head over the drawing. "Not so small that, look, he has gone to sleep." And that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince.